wind's going to blow that. It will.
Still carrying. And that is his second two-run home run of the day. 3 runs this time. He has a 4-hit game. 4 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and a stolen base.
Good thing the Kansas City Royals have that bright red Quick Trip logo on their sleeve, because boy, oh boy, are they red hot. Your Kansas City Royals just ended a homestand, a 7-game homestand against the Chicago White Sox and the Houston Astros, and went 7-for-7. Absolute perfection from Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, and company. We will get right into the action from Thursday afternoon. But before we do, please go check out RoyalsReview.com. You could also follow Royals Review on X and Facebook at Royals Review. Great comment community over there. You can go and check out the articles, great insights, great breakdowns, everything you need as a Kansas City Royal is over at RoyalsReview.com. Folks, I didn't even get home from work before the action started in Thursday's game against the Houston Astros. Now, I get it. I'm out here on the East Coast. I was trying to have an early day out of work so I could sit down and watch the whole game. But by the time I flip it on, it's 9-0. Like, what happened? What did I miss? I missed all the good stuff, apparently. It was a perfect punctuation point to this perfect homestand, which, mind you, and I stole this from the broadcast, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this is the first perfect 7-game homestand for the Kansas City Royals since 1988. Before 88, it only been done once before in franchise history, 1985. We all know where those 85 Royals went. And the 88 Royals weren't too shabby to watch either, ain't gonna lie. Well, at least from what I've been told. I wasn't around back then. Listen, I said it last night, and I will reiterate it again. The reports of Vinny Pasquantino's demise were greatly exaggerated. He is back, producing in the lineup. Who's designated hitter today? Salvador Perez took over at first base for this afternoon matchup, and Vinny was red hot. A 3-hit game from him, 3 RBIs. Now, does that put him on a perfect pace for the season? No, not at all. He's still got some room to make up. But boy, oh boy, he just about had a great 2-game stretch as you could possibly realistically imagine. Absolutely love what we're seeing from him so far. He's putting the ball in play, and some of those balls are just going his way finally. So very, very excited to see what happens there. But the star of the show had to be Bobby Witt Jr. What an amazing game from the young shortstop. 4 hits, 5 RBIs himself, thanks to 2 home runs. He had one in the first inning off of Brown, and then another in the 7th inning off of Abreu. Just really, really burying the Houston Astros and any chance that they had of spoiling the perfect homestand. So that is the top. The top 4 in this lineup did a lot of damage today. Let me tell you, Maikel Garcia, 2 hits. He rebounded a little bit. 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Bobby Witt Jr., we already talked about him. Vinny, we already talked about him. Salvador Perez had an okay game in his own right. He had a hit, he had a strikeout, but he wasn't looking overwhelmed at the plate. He had a really, really good plate appearance later on in the game that I recall. MJ Melendez also had a hit and a walk, keeping that pace. And unfortunately, it's hard to stay on top of Bobby Witt Jr. once he has a 2-home run game. But MJ Melendez's OPS is still sitting north of 1,100, so keep an eye on that. Nelson Velasquez, in his own right, had a great game as well. Nick Lofton getting the start at second base today. 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 2 RBIs, and 1 walk. That plate approach is looking legit, guys. And I'm thinking that there is going to be a tough conversation, some tough choices once Michael Massey is ready to come back from his rehab assignment. Very interesting to see how that plays out. Freddie Fermin, hey, prove me wrong. I'll give my flowers where they're due. I bet against him having any hits today. Not just one or two, any hits. Thought he would go over. Nah, he had a hit, scored a run, and he did. He looked pretty solid behind the dish. Got a lot of work to do at the plate, but he's doing okay as a reserve catcher. Let's emphasize that, reserve. And also, put a little bit of respect on Kyle Isbell at the plate, huh? Are we ready to have that conversation yet? Because Kyle Isbell's been quietly having a very, very good year at the plate. He's still keeping up pace, still doing Gold Glove level work in the outfield, but as of late, he's been doing okay at the plate. His slugging ain't all there. I don't know why. I just don't know why he doesn't get the respect. That's all. He's doing okay lately. Kind of had a slow start, but he's doing better. We'll see if he can continue that pace that he's setting for himself in the recent games. Oh, folks, this is good. Like, this is really good. Can we acknowledge that? Should we stop convincing ourselves that it's a small sample size? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just they're in Kaufman. The Kansas City Royals, I can't believe I'm saying this. According to MLB's expected statistics, not just one or two guys, but as a team, the Royals have the best expected win-loss record in all of MLB. They currently sit at 9-4. MLB is giving them another win, moving them to 10-3. But golly, folks, that would first off, like I said, that would put them on top of MLB and win-loss. That would put them at the top of the AL Central for sure. The Kansas City Royals are red hot, and this isn't just grading on a AL Central scale. Okay, the boys in blue are good. GOOD, good. Believe it. Read it. Listen to it. Your Kansas City Royals are doing work. Now we're going to see how they could do away from Kauffman Stadium. Okay, they've had plenty of games at home. They've had 10 games at home now in the 13-game season. Excuse me. That has to be a big comfort in the young season, starting out with 3 series: the Twins series, the Chicago White Sox series, and the Houston Astros series. They've had 3 out of their 4 series in Kauffman Stadium. That has to be great. Now they go on the road. Let's see if they can do it in the Big Apple. They travel on Friday to face against the New York Mets for a 3-game stand, and then they will go to Chicago, to the South Side, to face off against the Chicago White Sox. That should be some interesting matchups right there. We will we'll talk about those games when they come, but this game was a good one. And Brady Singer really set a good tone. He wasn't dominant, but he was good. And did he have a quality start? No. He was only 1 inning shy, though. And all in all, it's hard to be mad about this. 5 innings, 5 hits, only 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And that 1 earned run was a home run. It was a solo home run. So, I mean, outside of that, he kind of had the Astros in check. Very excited to see that. Brady Singer, keep doing you, man. Keep proving us doubters wrong. Nick Anderson, Angel Serpa, Matt Sauer, and Jordan Lyles came in behind him, and now Nick Anderson, he had a rough go at it. He really did. Only recorded 2 outs, but gave 2 earned runs and 3 walks. Not good. Not good stuff from Nick Anderson. Just sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't as a reliever. Anel Zerpa came in, cleaned up his mess, stopped the bleeding. Matt Sauer, let's give him a round of applause as well. Got not only his first MLB strikeout, but got 2 strikeouts in 2 innings of work today. He was the quote-unquote bulk guy out of the bullpen. He was the man that Matt Contreras said, you know what, you go out there for 2 innings tonight and get it done. And he did. No earned runs. He gave up 3 hits, but you know what? If the Royals starting rotation has taught us anything, it only matters which of those hitters cross home plate. As long as they don't do that, you're good. I love it. Jordan Lyles, don't blink. He hasn't allowed a run this year. I get it. He's coming in as a low leverage guy later on in games. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Wade Davis or Greg Holland. No, I'm not saying that. But for mainly being a reserve arm in the bullpen and going out in single innings and proving that he can produce, I am A-okay with that. I think that he is doing good work as a veteran in that bullpen. I've heard that he has had a good attitude about being dropped from the rotation in favor of Alec Marsh, who we will see in the New York Mets series. And got to give credit where credit's due. Jordan Lyles is doing work where he can. And that is making this bullpen even stronger. I'm very happy as a Royals fan right now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Kansas City Royals are leading MLB in run differential. Leading it. Too often we would see them in the red in run differential, just hoping that they can make up some sort of ground. No, the Royals are on top. Strong pitching, strong bats, another blowout win over the Houston Astros. Really putting the lumber to work. Don't blink now, folks. It's going to be a good ride this year. I'm very hopeful, extremely optimistic. I am curious to see how the win projections will go up for the Kansas City Royals after they complete the sweep of the Houston Astros. Before the last 2 wins, their projections were sitting at 80 games. That was already up almost 10 games from the start of the year. They should be surprising everyone. And by the way, go get your bets in on Bobby Witt Jr. as MVP. Do it now. This is probably the time. If you didn't have it before the season, he's going to become a front runner before you know it. But let's go ahead and put a bow on Thursday's game in the Houston Astros series. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we will hear from manager Matt Quatrero. And who the heck else did Bally Sports get on the horn? We will find out. Stay tuned.
What a day for everyone, including Bobby Witt Jr. And you guys had on this homestand 3 different innings where you scored 7 or more runs, but nothing like that first. At what point do you realize, here comes the big man, this one's all for you? The wind, he said the wind. They might get some of it over there. At what point in that first inning did you realize this is something a little different and special?
Yeah, we're just putting together great at-bats. We know Brady's on the mound, get him a couple runs, and then just put together good at-bats, like I said, and just compete up there, stick to our plan and approach, and just battle.
You guys came home from the first road trip in Baltimore 2-4. You go back on the road now 9-4. How would you describe everything that's going on with this team on the field, dugout, and clubhouse?
Just saying, the boys are playing some ball right now. We're having a lot of fun, both on and off the field, and it's a lot of fun, like I said.
This wind is really tricky today, but get that ball up towards right field. Do you have a chance? How much were you thinking about that?
I've been watching the Masters and playing the big fade, so that's what I was trying to do today.
Very nice, as it is Masters weekend indeed. I can't let you go without asking you about a play that I'm pretty sure you guys have never practiced before, with a second baseman hurtling over you while you make a play. What happened there?
Yeah, just we were both going for the ball, trying to make a play, and then He helped over me, and we got the out. That was all the thing that mattered.
That's all that matters. I'll let you go in a sec. He's shivering, understandably so. The Bobby chants have been echoing every single game. What do you think?
Pretty special. The fans out here, we love them. We're going to keep it rolling and do something special this year. So thank you, guys.
We'll go warm up. We'll see you in New York tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bobby Witt Jr., what a day.
You didn't think I was going to forget again, did you? Let's go ahead and run down our Spotify Q&A responses from the April 10th Royals recap. So if you don't know what that is, exclusively on Spotify, you have access to our Q&As and our polls every episode. And after every single Royals recap, I ask y'all, what did you think about the game? What were some thoughts, some takeaways, whatever you want to put in there. I greatly appreciate it. Charlie Pomegranates says, it felt like how I feel when I play MLB The Show March to October on the easiest difficulty, and I loved every second. Well, Charlie, I certainly hope that you enjoyed today's game, because that's kind of how that felt in this 13-3 win. Dylan says, we may never lose again. And Dylan, that's kind of how I feel it. I know they ain't going to go with only 4 losses in the year, but man, oh man, let's go ahead and ride the high while it's here. And then lastly, Ginger620 says, seeing Pasquatch hang some dong on the Houston Astros and Lyles devour another inning? 10 out of 10 all day, every day. And I think I'll take that twice on Sunday as well, Ginger. Thank you all for your Spotify Q&A responses. Make sure to make your voice heard on the next episode. Alrighty, y'all, that is going to do it for today's Royals recap presented by Royals Review. Once again, my name is Jacob Milham. Thank you so much for joining me whenever you're listening to this. Wherever you're listening, please give us a 5-star review, follow, whatever it is. We greatly appreciate that, and it supports the podcast more than you know. We will be back in the podcast feed with another Royals recap after tomorrow's game against the New York Mets. The Kansas City Royals, riding a 7-game winning streak, hope to continue their momentum in the Big Apple. First pitch is at, I thought I had it. I really did. 6:10 p.m. Kauffman Standard Time. New York Mets currently sitting at 5-7, not too shabby. We'll see what they have against the red-hot Royals. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you again for joining me, and until next time, go Royals!